holiday is on February 1st?
Yeah, Chinese New Year.
Isn't it like Lunar New Year?
Oh my god. Okay.
No, I don't.
Oh, I think I do. Get it there. I have no idea. No. Lunar New Year, right? Lunar New Year.
No.
Lunar New Year. Yes. Do you know how many zodiac animals there are?
12.
No. 12. 12.
I'm gonna go and guess like 8.
12.
13, 12.
12. Oh my god! Alright. Yeah! 12, right? 12. 12. 26.
I'm gonna say there are 12 of them.
26. It was 12.
I'm gonna guess 12.
I don't know. There's 12.
No, I don't know how many there are.
Can you guess?
12.
7? Change my answer to 6. There's 12. Oh my god.
If I were to guess, probably 12.
Can you guess? It's 12. That sounds good.
That was pretty cool. There's the monkey. You're the dog. Thank you very much.
Can you name at least 2?
Rooster. Dog. Chicken. Probably dragon.
Thank you.
Well, you have the rooster or the cock.
Yeah.
You've got the tiger. You've got the dog, snake, the horse, the pig, the monkey, the ox, the sheep. So there's the dog, there's the rabbit, the dragon, the rooster. That's all I can think of off the dome.
Thank you.
The rat, did I already say rat? Rat. The rabbit, did I already say rabbit? We don't know either.
Snake. Alright. Snake.
Have it. And then there's one more, and it is of course, the dragon, because my cousin's a golden dragon, born in 2000.
Hi everyone, I'm back, and this year I will be showing you all how to make fortune cookies and also talking a little bit about their history and then also some personal significance that they have to myself as well. So let's start. So today I'm not going to walk us through the recipe step by step, but I will say that 1, this recipe is very easily found online, and 2, the ingredients are fairly common, so you might even find them in your own pantry. But let's go ahead and begin. So the fortune cookie itself is not a Chinese tradition or part of Chinese culture. It's actually entirely an American invention. However, its roots are inspired or come from overseas still, and that country is actually Japan. So the fortune cookie is a Japanese cracker. It has the same exact shape, it has a fortune inside as well, but instead of butter, vanilla, and almond, it has miso and sesame, and it's much darker in color. And so the way it made its way over to the United States is when the first wave of Japanese immigrants came over in the 1880s and early 1900s. And when they immigrated at first, Americans were not quite accustomed to Japanese cuisine yet. And so instead, Japanese entrepreneurs opened up Chinese restaurants. And so because, again, a lot of the clientele are still kind of Americans who are not used to Asian cuisine yet per se, there is a lot of expectation for kind of a sweet or a dessert at the end of the meal, and so the Japanese brought in their cracker, made those substitutions of butter and vanilla and almond for the miso and sesame, and thus the fortune cookie was born. However, after Pearl Harbor, a lot of Japanese Americans were sent to internment camps, forcing their businesses to close. And so at that point, when there were many, many Chinese immigrants here, there was kind of a hole in the market. And so Chinese American entrepreneurs filled that hole by taking over these restaurants and the bakeries that were producing the fortune cookie, thus kind of cementing this idea that the fortune cookie is part of Chinese cuisine. In a lot of ways, as a Chinese American, I know this might sound silly, but I kind of feel a metaphorical connection with this cookie, because in a lot of ways, you wouldn't look at the fortune cookie and say, this is an American confection. On the other hand, though, Chinese people who are in China, they scoff, right, when people think of the fortune cookie as kind of part of their traditional cuisine. And so I've kind of felt that in-betweenness my whole life, not quite seen as one thing or the other, just in its own category. And it's taken me a while, and I'm still, learning to grow in this still, but I've come to accept what a wonderful thing that is, and just kind of how great it is to be uniquely Chinese American, a mixture of two things. And so I hope you enjoyed learning a little bit about the fortune cookie today. Thank you for watching. So 新年快乐, Happy New Year, Huskies. Bye!
This is Maddie Chang. I am one of the club leaders, and I will be talking about Chinese astrology and how that plays out in predictions for this year. First, we need to talk a little bit about the sexagenary cycle, or stems and branches. This is a 60-year cycle based on 2 individual cycles, the 10-year heavenly stem cycle and the 12-year earthly stem cycle. The heavenly stems are comprised of 5 different elements, each in both the yin and yang forms. This gives us yin wood, yang fire, and so on. The earthly branches are those you are probably most familiar with, and they are the 12 zodiac animals. This year happens to be the year of the Yang water tiger, which is the 39th year in the 60-year cycle. This is also called the year of the black tiger, as water is associated with the color black. These 3 markers of this year hold great influence on how this year will play out and what decisions you should make. First, however, I will briefly explain these symbols and how they interact so that you can better understand this coming year. The tiger is associated with the wood element, which manifests in the tiger's urge for change, activity, and momentum. Thus, when faced with stagnation, tigers can often become aggressive and frustrated. This means that 2022 is a year of emerging from the past rat and ox years with goals and dreams and acting on them. Moving on to water, in Taoistic theory, water supports and feeds wood energy. Thus, the inherent wood energy of the tiger will be especially pronounced this year. Water's nature is adaptable and flowing. Thus, this year will be one of endurance and supported pioneering. While water feeds wood and energy, too much of it can also be damaging. Thus, as water absorbs and resonates, the water energy tends to hold on to emotion, leading to surges of fear and inaction. This means it will be even more important to manage your emotions by connecting with the earth and finding grounding. Yang, which is represented by the light side in the yin and yang circle, symbolizes daytime positivity and moving forward. The wood element has a lot of yang energy, meaning that this tiger year will be very active. Yang is associated with the father figure, bringing encouragement and confidence to go out into the world. Seeing the amount of yang energy in this year, 2022 will be a time of making decisions and cultivating growth. This year will be a time to emerge from lockdowns and the pandemic with drive and an abandonment of fears. However, with the danger of fear and resistance, this year also will stress the importance of self-care and adaptability. This leads us into predictions for each zodiac this year. Many people falsely believe that their year zodiac is their defining zodiac. However, the Chinese zodiac system is actually pretty detailed and consists of 4 animals for the year, month, day, and hour. This year, the year animal influences childhood, the day animal adulthood, the hour animal's later years, which would be considered after 60, and the month animal relates to overall life. For the following predictions, it would be best to use the animal that relates to your current stage in life. I have provided a link here to a zodiac chart calculator. Rats will benefit from the water energy this year. They will have better intuition helping them succeed in business and money making. Rats will make new friends this year and feel an overall strength in romance and social life. They will experience health and vitality and will benefit from a vacation. Oxen will face many challenges this year, especially in home life. They may also feel stubbornness and hesitancy. However, such individuals can make the most of this year by putting their energy into work and business and cultivating good practices such as flexibility and action. Oxen are naturally tough, steady, and have endurance, helping them to succeed even in this difficult year. For tigers, turning 60 this year will bring good luck. However, for all other tigers, this year will present challenges and growth. Tigers will need to work hard this year. Many individuals will have issues with authority and will need to embody compassion and seek advice. Other practices to help tigers this year are planning, breathing exercises, and gratitude journaling. This will be a decent year full of activity and passion for rabbits. This year may begin with chaos, but will progress to strength and stability. Rabbits need to come out and take challenges head-on. They will benefit from really leaning into their compassionate nature and will be appreciated for their cleverness. Dragons, being earth-natured, find this water year to be transformative. They may experience changes in family life or relationships. With these revolutions in their life, it is important that dragons practice patience and remain cautious when giving criticism. Dragons should concentrate their energy on cultivating their natural creativity and artistic character. Snakes find a difficult year of blocked creativity, intuition, and trouble achieving goals. However, by turning to wisdom, harnessing the active energy of the tiger, and practicing things such as qigong, yoga, and meditation, snakes may shed their skin and transform. For horses, this year brings great luck, creativity, fun, and romance. Combined with natural leadership abilities, horses will be able to take action, accomplish their goals, step into power, and enjoy their successes. They may even achieve a promotion. This is a good year for making friends, socializing, traveling, and experiencing new things. Unfortunately for sheep, this year may bring difficulties within the home and work environment. These individuals can combat these challenges by utilizing their peaceful energy, listening, finding compassion, and acting with gentleness instead of fighting with their horns. Their natural charm and grace will also help them navigate this rocky year. However, sheep should not be discouraged, as good luck is coming next year. Monkeys face a hard and tiring year. They will often feel drained by the abounding energy of the tiger. Thus, monkeys need to prioritize themselves this year, being mindful to tackle activities in spurts, finding rest, and letting go of extra obligations. Monkeys should cultivate patience and utilize their powers of observation. These individuals should remain mindful of their communication with others. This year will bring roosters to action. These individuals will experience a blossoming in their social life. Roosters should utilize their inherent stylish energy and influence to nurture their artistic nature through writing poetry or comedy or practicing other forms of communication. The busyness of this year means that roosters must schedule their time wisely, set and respect boundaries, pace themselves, and remain flexible. Dogs will enjoy great luck this year as a reward for their hard work and planning last year. This year will be very active with great harmony, luck, money-making, energy, health, and social activities. Although dogs may experience some challenges at home, their luck will help them navigate these difficulties. Dogs can also look to good luck next year. Pigs, shout out to my brother, will enjoy good luck this year, finding it easier to accomplish projects, achieve goals, and maybe even step into leadership positions. Pigs will also do well with business, family, and romance. Not only will pigs experience success, but they will also find life more pleasurable overall and will be celebrated for their intelligence. However, with all this success, pigs must be careful to avoid laziness, which will squander their good luck and energy. With hard work, pigs will be able to carry this luck into next year. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you can take these predictions and make the best of your year, no matter what challenges may arise. Remember to take care of yourselves and let yourselves breathe every once in a while. Thank you to C.T. Holman at the TCM Academy of Integrative Medicine for these predictions.
여러분 안녕하세요. Hello everyone. My name is Min and today I'll be talking to you about the Korean Lunar New Year. In Korea, Lunar New Year is a huge event where people get together with families and go through these traditions. For instance, we wear hanboks. Hanboks are a type of traditional clothing that's been around for thousands of years. For a male, it's usually a long sleeve shirt with loose pants and something that looks kind of like a vest, like my dad's wearing here. And for a female, it's usually a big dress with something that looks kind of like a short jacket on top. Another component of the hanbok is the headdress, which is usually for younger children, going all the way around the head, and there's a little tassel attached. The word hanbok means exactly Korean clothing because han means Korean and bok means clothing. So now I'm going to be showing you guys how to tie an 옷고름. So basically you start with the two ribbons and you cross the right one over the left, like I'm doing here. And then you loop the left ribbon under the right one, and then that would be making a simple knot. So basically you're pulling it all the way through. And then you tighten the bow slightly, and then you wrap the part of the ribbon that's now to the left of the knot around your left hand, and then this is going to create a loop around your hand. So then you take the other part of the ribbon by the center so that it folds, and then you pull the folded end through the loop, and then you remove your hand, tighten the bow, and then that's it's supposed to resemble like a half-tied bow, and there you go, there's your 옷고름. This is the finished product with the jacket, the chima meaning the skirt, and then the baji meaning the pants. I also braided my hair because when wearing a hanbok, if you're a woman who isn't married, you're supposed to braid your hair. And this is the 360. So for a female, you have your right hand over your left. So it would be like this. Then you put them to your forehead. And then you would go down. So left knee first touches the ground, and then your right knee. So then from there you would sit, and then you'd point your toes, and you'd have your left foot over your right. So you'd be like crossing them, and then you'd go down. So then from here you'd say, you don't actually go down all the way. It's just like 45 degrees. And you say 새해 복 많이 받으세요. So from here, you'd be saying 새해 복 많이 받으세요, meaning again luck, or I wish you luck in this year, and I wish you prosperity. So then after you do your chal, like 새해 복 많이 받으세요, you'd come back up again, and that's when you drop your hands. For the male version of the chal, it's actually really similar. But there are a few major differences. One of them is that for a male, you'd have your left hand over your right. So it would be like this. For a female, it was like this, but now it's switched. And then after that, a female goes down with their knees first, but for a male, it's their hands first. So your hands go down to the ground, and then your left knee goes down, and then your right knee. Again, your left foot goes over your right. So nothing's changed, and then that's when you bow. For a male, you'd bow all the way down to the ground, and then you'd say 새해 복 많이 받으세요, and then you stay there for like 3 seconds, and then that's when you come back up. That's when you can drop your hands. So after sebe, we go to eat. We usually eat either boiled meat, or there's also stir-fried blood sausage, which sounds really gross, but it's actually really good. It's really delicious. Then we also have Korean glass noodles, which gets its name for the transparency of the noodles. Then we also have chon, which is a traditional Korean pancake, but it's like really savory. And there's also kimchi. Many people don't know that there are multiple types of kimchi, but there are so many. It's so good. We could also be having cold noodles with spicy whelks. However, there are a few crucial parts to the meal that you must never skip out on, like short braised beef ribs, which are really sweet and salty, and they're gelatinous. There's also dumplings, which people eat either steamed like this or in a soup. Both are really delicious. Another is rice cakes, which people eat either with sesame oil and salt or honey. So I hope everyone watching this video had fun and learned more about Korean Lunar New Year. So to everyone watching, Happy New Year! 새해 복 많이 받으세요.
Hello and happy Lunar New Year, everyone. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Iru, and I just want to share with you my Lunar New Year experiences. As an international student, I grew up in China and moved here in 8th grade. And with that, I had very different experiences each year. Lunar New Year is the biggest festival in many Asian countries, particularly East Asia. It's almost like Thanksgiving and Christmas all together. I usually get to reunite with my family and enjoy a lot of food on Lunar New Year. When I was a kid, my family and I would travel back to our hometown, Hefei, from Beijing and celebrate Lunar New Year there. We would usually arrive on the day of Lunar New Year's Eve, spend a week or so there, and celebrate this festival with all kinds of traditions. First of all, we would visit our grandparents and have Lunar New Year Eve dinner together. All of my relatives would also travel back from all over China and get together at my grandparents' house. My family usually takes the bullet train from Beijing to Hefei, and it would take about 4 hours to get there. This is a regular train station that you see around Lunar New Year in China. As you can see, everyone is traveling to reunite with their family. As a family, we value spending time together, so you will see several generations of people sit around a round table and enjoy food at the same time. Symbolism is a huge part of Chinese culture, so you will see 饺子 or dumplings on many families' dinner table on Lunar New Year because it symbolizes wealth. Fish is also a must-have for the reunion dinner because of its auspicious meaning. In Chinese, fish, 鱼, sounds like surplus and symbolizes abundance. My family would not eat it on New Year's Eve, but save it for the next year. My aunt always makes these egg dumplings on Lunar New Year. They're essentially a type of dumplings, but the stuffing is wrapping egg instead of the regular dumpling wrappers. That's made of wheat and flour. It tastes so delicious that I bring home bags of frozen egg dumplings every year. Another essential for me would be my grandma's tea egg. Basically, it's boiled egg that are cracked slightly and then boiled again in a mixture of tea, soy sauce, all kinds of spices. And every time I eat tea egg now, it reminds me of my grandparents and the good memories I had as a kid. Besides food, I will also set off fireworks with my friends and go New Year shopping, as well as visiting all my other relatives. Lunar New Year has become less festive to me. I will still stay up until midnight to welcome the new year. In Chinese, we call it 守岁. I will still wear red clothes for good luck, decorate the house with festive couplets on red banners, as you can see in the picture. I will still gorge myself on New Year's Eve dinner. For the past 2 years, I had hot pot straight, but it is no comparison to the reunion dinner that I had back home. Plus, not being able to get together with my family kind of takes away the festiveness to me. But this year, just like last year, I'll be receiving digital red envelopes on WeChat. And yes, it is real money. It works just like Apple Pay. And I will be sending my wishes to my family through video chat. Hopefully, I'll get to travel freely and see my family soon. And thank you for watching. I hope you learned something from my story today. Happy Lunar New Year, everyone.
What's your favorite thing about your culture?
My favorite thing about my culture is learning about where I come from and visiting my family.
Learning about my dad's family.
It's celebrating Diwali because I get to spend a lot of time with my family.
It's a very hard question because there's so many things that I love about Vietnamese culture, but the first thing that comes to mind for me is probably family. I think that there's a very strong sense of family values in Vietnamese culture, in the sense that like your family will always have your back, like no matter what, like through thick and thin.
Food.
What kind of food?
All kind of Chinese food.
I always enjoy like spending time with my family, playing some games, and also getting like money in like January, February for the Chinese New Year.
Tea.
What kind of tea?
Green tea.
Like the New Year's. New Year's is fun. Yeah.
My favorite thing is the red envelopes with money in it.
The red envelope. So that's when I get rich.
So I'm Korean, by the way, and I think my favorite thing is probably our New Year's tradition.
It's like a Chinese culture to eat dumplings during the Chinese New Year.
Traditions and food.
What kind of food?
Dumplings, noodles.
Thank you.
What are your top 3 favorite foods?
White one, and kip.
Beef noodles. Why are beef noodles your favorite? Because they're yummy and my grandma makes them really good. Well, my grandmother used to make this fried rice thing where she would put a pound of pork and then a pound of mushrooms in it, and I was like, girl, that's way too much. It's not way too much, it's really good.
Spending time with my family during like the holidays.
Just the holidays.
What's the most significant part of the holidays?
Being able to spend my time with families.
Thank you.
It's nice to celebrate both like Christmas and then the Lunar New Year right after.
When I was 15, I went to Vietnam for the first time, and I met all of my like dozens of cousins and aunts and uncles who I had never met before in my life, and they just embraced me like they had always known me and always loved me, and it made me feel very, very connected and like I had roots.
The weddings.
Why do you like the weddings?
Because they're fun. Yeah.
It's the food. I like to make dumplings with my family.
Definitely the food.
What's your favorite type of food?
Fancy.
Popping fireworks and things like that, and just the food and things like that.
I don't really know much about the culture, but I have to say the food.
I love being able to talk to people about our common cultures and find communities like the ASU at Flint Hill or just in general.
We have like really rich arts and also like the mythology is really cool. Yeah.
I think the language is really cool and the cool places and restaurants I get to go to.
I just love the fact that it creates connection.
In every single gathering, there's karaoke and food involved. So I love it.
My favorite thing about my culture would be celebrating Diwali because it involves a lot of different types of dances and foods.
And also there's a tradition where like it's kind of like you bow to your elders and in return you get a little bit of money. So it's really fun, but also it's a good way to connect with like people that are older than me and just, you know, really enjoy yourselves on New Year's. So yeah.
Making traditional foods such as egg rolls, pho, noodles, and spring rolls with my family members.
My favorite part is probably the valley and like putting together like an exhibition for it with all my friends.
Eating samosas and helping my grandma make them.
I like all the traditions we have.
Indian dances.
I think my favorite thing about my culture is that I grew up being very family oriented, and I like the communal aspect of, I think, East Asian culture in that sense.
I really like the food because it's fun to make and I used to make it with my grandparents. I like celebrating Eid and I like the connections that I make to other people with other people in my culture.
I like being able to use chopsticks.
I like the clothing, the food, and like P-pop, yeah, that's it.
I like the food, the wide varieties of them, and we also like Chinese food.
My favorite thing about my culture is probably cooking with my family and eating afterwards because it's really rewarding. I love how it's super vibrant and colorful and how it connects me to my family. My favorite part about my culture is also celebrating holidays and weddings because I love it when my family comes together. My favorite thing about my culture in China is that we have the Chinese New Year, which all the family members gather together. So I got to see my grandpa, my grandma, and every single one of us in our family.
My favorite thing about my culture is that we all get like money from our parents,
and we usually get a lot of money.
My favorite thing about my culture is food. I really like sweet dumpling. It really brings a lot of childhood memories.
I enjoy celebrating Diwali with my family members.
Well, since I'm mixed, I actually really like the food combinations that happen to come from both sides, and I think it's really cool how some of them blend really nicely while maintaining their key features.
Favorite thing about my culture is celebrating holidays. I like it because like you get to be together with your family. Yeah.
How close families are knit together, and we get to spend a lot of time with our families, like our extended families.
How important family is, and getting together as a big family and just enjoying time together.
I really like learning about my family's history and culture.
I also love celebrating family traditions that I will always look forward to throughout the year. And I think just having something to bond over with my family is really nice.
That culture connects me to other people, other places, almost other times in a way, you know, because my family came over here before I was born. So it's like I get to travel back because of that culture.
Wait, am I supposed to look at you or read that? Wait, no, this is just
All right, Happy New Year!
This year, my
Why are you proud of being Asian?
Is that one of them? Start over.
Keep up.
Changing my answer now that I know it's wrong.
Okay. What's your favorite thing about your culture? Okay. These are good questions.
Okay, no, I'm ready.
Okay. What's your favorite thing about your culture?
My favorite. What's your favorite thing? My favorite thing of. What's your favorite? Yeah.
Okay, I'm ready. What's your favorite thing about your culture?
My favorite thing about my culture is being able to discover new places with my family and have them teach me about the history of the countries.
新年快乐！